Good morning, wherever you're at right now, in the car before the day starts, in the kitchen with coffee in your hand, still under the covers not quite ready to move. Stop for a second. Just arrive here fully before anything else pulls at you. You didn't land on this video by accident. Something in you has been asking a question lately. Maybe you haven't said it out loud. Maybe you don't even have the words for it yet. But it's sitting there, underneath your schedule and your to-do list. Which way, Lord? What do I do next? That question matters more than it feels like it does. It means you haven't given up on becoming who you're meant to be. It means you still believe there's a path forward, even if you can't see it clearly yet. Maybe you know that feeling of standing still while everyone else seems to be moving. A job that doesn't fit anymore. A relationship you can't quite read. A season that won't shift no matter how hard you push against it. You've prayed about it. You've turned it over in your head 100 times. The fog hasn't lifted. So hear this before we go any further. That stillness isn't God ignoring you. It isn't punishment for some mistake you think you made. Sometimes, before He moves you forward, He just asks you to stop long enough to actually hear Him. This morning is that stop. Take a slow breath. Let your shoulders drop. Let your hands open instead of staying clenched. Because in the next few minutes, God is going to meet you exactly where you are, not where you think you should be. And He's going to start leading you somewhere new. This is a prayer for direction. For mornings when the road ahead won't come into focus, and you need more than motivation. You need guidance. A voice steadier than your own thoughts. A hand you can actually trust to hold. You don't need everything figured out before you pray. You don't need the perfect words. You just need to say what's true. I don't know the way, but I know you do. That's enough. That's where every good path starts. Not certainty, but surrender. Not having the whole map. Just being willing to take the first step with Him instead of alone. So settle in. Let this be your few minutes of stillness before the world asks anything of you. Let's pray. Before we ask God for anything today, let's just thank Him. Not the quick kind of thankful you rush through on your way to the real request. The kind that actually stops and feels it. Think back for a second. Not to the parts of your story that are easy to explain, but to the parts you couldn't have planned yourself. A job that opened up right when you needed it. Someone who said exactly the right thing at exactly the right moment. A door that slammed shut painfully, that you now realize was protecting you from something you couldn't see at the time. That wasn't luck. That was guidance, even when it didn't feel like it. Lord, thank you for being present in my life, even in the moments I didn't recognize you. Thank you for the ways you've already led me, quietly, long before I ever thought to ask. Thank you for this new day, and for the fact that your story for me isn't finished yet. Here's something worth sitting with this morning. God's guidance rarely feels dramatic while it's happening. It doesn't usually show up as a voice from heaven or a sign written in the sky. Most of the time, it looks like a nudge you almost talked yourself out of. A conversation that stayed with you longer than it should have. A verse that jumped off the page at exactly the right time. Small, quiet, easy to miss if you're not paying attention. That's why gratitude matters this morning. Not as a formality, but as training. When you practice thanking God for the guidance you can already see, you start trusting the guidance you can't see yet. Psalm 23 opens with words you've probably heard 100 times. Let them land differently today. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. A shepherd doesn't shout directions from a distance. He walks ahead, sets the pace, checks behind to see who's falling back. You're not being pushed through this life. You're being led through it. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. Read that slowly. Restoration comes before direction. Before God shows you the next step, He wants to restore what's tired in you. Your mind, your hope, your ability to trust anything again. That's part of why you're here right now. Not just to get answers, but to be restored enough to actually receive them. Think about someone walking through unfamiliar hills at dusk, following a shepherd they trust completely. They can't see far ahead. Just a few feet of path lit by the fading light. They keep walking anyway, not because the whole trail is visible, but because the shepherd's voice stays close and steady. That's closer to how God guides you than any map could ever be. Not the whole future laid out in advance. Just enough light for the next step, and a voice close enough to trust. Maybe that's hard to accept if you're someone who likes to plan 10 steps ahead instead of just one. God isn't asking you to abandon wisdom or stop making plans. He's asking you to hold those plans loosely enough that His voice can still redirect them when it needs to. Maybe you've noticed this pattern in your own life already, even if you never called it that. A friendship that fell apart right before it would have pulled you somewhere unhealthy. A plan that got delayed for reasons you couldn't understand at the time, only to watch it work out better a year later because of that exact delay. Looking back, those moments carry a kind of fingerprint. Not loud, not obvious in the moment, but unmistakable once you know what you're looking for. That's what His guidance tends to look like. Quiet until you look back. So this morning isn't just about thanking Him for what's ahead. It's about training your eyes to notice what He's already been doing, so you trust Him more easily with what's still unclear. Thank Him for that kind of guidance already at work in your life, even in the parts you haven't recognized yet. But there's a question still sitting quietly underneath all of this. If God's been guiding you all along, why does the road ahead still feel so unclear right now? That deserves an honest answer, not a quick one, and we're about to get to it. You asked why the road still feels unclear, even after everything we just prayed. Let's be honest about that instead of rushing past it. Clarity almost never comes all at once. You want the whole map. God gives you the next mile marker. That gap between what you want and what you actually get isn't Him failing you. That's just how faith works, every time, for everyone who's ever walked with Him. Proverbs puts it plainly. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to Him, and He will make your path straight. Notice what it doesn't say. It doesn't say your own understanding is worthless. It says don't lean on it alone, because your understanding only stretches as far as what you can see, and His doesn't stop there. This is where so many of us get stuck. We want the clarity before we're willing to trust. We want the whole path visible before we take the first step. But real faith almost always works the other way. Trust comes first. Clarity follows behind it, not ahead of it. So this morning, let this be your posture before anything else. Lord, I trust You with what I can't see, not just what I already understand. I lean on Your wisdom instead of only my own. Make my path straight, even when it doesn't feel straight from where I'm standing. Maybe this isn't abstract for you. Maybe you're lying awake some nights running numbers in your head, wondering if you should stay in a job that pays the bills, but slowly drains something in you, or finally take the risk you've been too afraid to take. Maybe it's a relationship you keep circling back to, unsure whether you're supposed to fight for it or let it go. Maybe it's simpler than either of those. Just a tired feeling that you've been going through the motions of your own life instead of actually living it. If any of that is true for you, hear this clearly. God isn't frustrated with your uncertainty. He isn't waiting for you to figure it out alone before he steps in. Isaiah holds a promise made for exactly this kind of morning. Your ears will hear a word behind you saying, "This is the way, walk in it," whenever you turn to the right or to the left, not before you move. Not only if you get it perfect. As you're moving, as you're turning, his voice is there, correcting your course gently, the way a hand rests on a shoulder to guide someone through a crowd. That means this prayer doesn't have to be the moment everything suddenly becomes clear. It just has to be the moment you stop trying to find the way alone. Think about a parent teaching a kid to ride a bike. The kid wants to know exactly how far they'll ride today, exactly when they'll stop wobbling, exactly when it'll finally feel easy. The parent doesn't answer any of that. They just run alongside, hand on the seat, saying, "Keep pedaling, I've got you." That's closer to how God guides you than any 5-year plan could ever be. So, what does that mean for you practically? Once you close this video and go back to your regular Tuesday, it means you don't have to solve your whole future before breakfast. You just have to take today's step. Pray about today's decision. Ask for today's wisdom. Trust him with tomorrow's, because tomorrow isn't yours to carry yet, no matter how much your mind wants to run ahead and carry it anyway. Jeremiah says something worth holding on to here. "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Notice who's doing the knowing, not you. Him. You're not failing at this because you can't see the whole plan yet. You were never supposed to see all of it at once. No one ever is, no matter how put together their life looks from the outside. We're not finished yet. There's still more he wants you to hear this morning. Psalm 32 puts it plainly. "I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you." Not a distant God, checking in every once in a while. His eye is on you right now, while you're listening to this. He's not waiting for you to get somewhere before he starts paying attention. He's already paying attention. Say that back to him for a second. "Lord, you're already watching over the decision I've been putting off. You already know the answer I've been searching for. I don't have to find it on my own." Something shifts when you actually believe that. The pressure eases. You stop white-knuckling every choice like your whole future rides on getting it flawless. You start walking like someone who's being led, instead of someone who's lost. Here's the part nobody likes talking about, though. Sometimes the next step God gives you isn't forward at all. Sometimes it's simply wait. That word can feel like rejection if you're not careful. It isn't. Waiting doesn't mean God forgot you or changed his mind. Isaiah says those who wait on the Lord will renew their strength. They'll rise up like eagles, run and not grow weary, walk and not faint. Notice the order. Strength comes from the waiting, not from skipping past it. You're not wasting time in this season. You're being built up for what's coming, whether you can feel it happening or not. Think about someone training for something hard, a race, a new job, a skill they don't have yet. Nobody gets strong by rushing straight to the finish line. Strength gets built in the unglamorous middle, the repetition, the mornings that feel like nothing's changing. If your life feels like that right now, you're not behind, you're in training. And the one training you knows exactly what he's doing. So if you've been praying for a door to open and it hasn't yet, don't read that as silence. Read it as preparation. Maybe you've sent out applications for months with nothing coming back. Maybe you've been praying for a relationship to heal, and it still feels just as strained as it did a year ago. Maybe you've done everything right, and the door in front of you just won't budge, no matter how hard you push on it. If that's you this morning, hear this. A closed door isn't proof God has forgotten your address. Sometimes it's proof He's protecting you from walking through the wrong one before the right one is ready. You may not see the reason for months or years, but the waiting isn't wasted, even when it feels like it is. Say this with me, quietly if you need to. Lord, I don't fully understand my timing, but I trust yours. I don't have the whole picture, but I trust the one who does. Strengthen me while I wait. Guide me while I move. Either way, don't let me walk this alone. Feel that for a second. Not the words themselves, but what happens underneath them. The way your chest loosens just slightly when you stop carrying the weight of figuring everything out by yourself. That's not nothing. That's the beginning of the peace this whole prayer is leading you toward. You might not walk away from this morning with a decision made. You might not know, by the time this video ends, exactly which door to walk through. And that's okay. Direction from God rarely arrives as a finished answer. It arrives as peace about the next step, and then the one after that, each one only visible once you've taken the one before it. So hold on to this instead of a 5-year plan. You're known. You're watched over. You're being led by someone who has never once lost track of you, not for a single day of your life, including this one, including the hardest ones. But gratitude is only the beginning. God still has something more for you this morning. Something your heart's been carrying for longer than you've admitted, even to yourself. We're about to bring it to Him directly. Something changes the moment you stop asking God to show you everything and start asking Him to walk with you through the next thing. That shift is where real faith actually lives. Picture Joshua for a second. God had just told him to lead an entire nation into land he'd never set foot in, against enemies he'd never fought, without the leader who'd guided him his whole life. No manual, no guaranteed outcome. Just one command, repeated 3 times in a single chapter. Be strong and courageous. Not wait until you feel ready. Not wait until the fear goes away. Be strong and courageous, because the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. That word wherever matters. Not just in the parts of your life that feel spiritual or safe. Wherever. The meeting you're dreading tomorrow. The conversation you've been putting off for months. The decision that scares you enough that you'd rather stay stuck than risk getting it wrong. So let's bring that here, right now, honestly. Lord, you know the step I've been avoiding. You know what it costs me to even think about it. The risk, the fear of failing, the fear of what people might think, the fear that I'll move and it'll turn out I moved wrong. I bring you that fear exactly as it is, not the polished version I usually pray about it. Fear doesn't disqualify you from faith. It's actually where faith starts. Nobody needs courage for the easy, certain things. You only need courage when the outcome isn't guaranteed, which means the fact that you're afraid isn't proof you're doing this wrong. It might be proof you're finally doing the thing that matters. Isaiah holds a promise for exactly this moment. Fear not, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Read that last part again. Not push you. Not shove you forward and hope you figure it out. Uphold you, like someone catching you mid-fall before you even realize you're falling. Paul wrote something to a young pastor named Timothy that applies just as much to you this morning. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Read that carefully. Fear isn't something God hands you to keep you cautious. If fear is the loudest thing in your head right now about this decision, it didn't come from Him. He gave you power instead, strength to actually do the thing. Love, not fear of what people think, and a sound mind, clear thinking instead of the spiral of worst-case scenarios you've probably run through 100 times already. Think about someone standing at the edge of a decision that could go either way. Maybe it's leaving a job that's safe, but slowly suffocating them for one that scares them, but feels alive. Maybe it's finally saying the hard thing to someone they love instead of swallowing it again. Maybe it's smaller than that, just choosing today to stop numbing out and actually show up for their own life. Whatever it is for you, this much is true. God isn't asking you to feel zero fear before you move. He's asking you to move with Him in spite of it. Say this honestly, in your own words if these don't fit exactly. Lord, I don't feel brave. I feel unsure, maybe even a little scared. But I don't want fear to be the reason I stay stuck another year. Give me what your word says you've already given me. Power, not fear. Love, not self-protection. A clear mind, not a spinning one. You might not feel different right away. That's fine. Courage isn't a feeling you wait for. It's a decision you make before the feeling shows up, and the feeling usually catches up once you're already moving. Here's something else worth carrying into this. Courage was never meant to look loud. You don't need to announce your decision to everyone before you're ready. You don't need a dramatic before and after story to make it count. Sometimes courage looks exactly like today. Quietly deciding, in a prayer nobody else hears, that you're done letting fear pick your future for you. Nobody has to witness it for it to be real. God does, and that's enough. Think about how many of the bravest things people have ever done happened without an audience. A parent choosing, alone at 2 a.m., to finally get help for something they'd been hiding for years. Someone walking away from a relationship that looked fine from the outside but was quietly costing them everything. A person deciding, with nobody watching, to forgive someone who never even apologized. None of that made headlines. All of it took more courage than most of what does. Whatever step you're circling this morning, it doesn't need witnesses to count. It just needs you to actually take it. There's still more He wants to say to you about this. Stay with me. Let's talk about something that might be sitting underneath all of this without you even naming it. What if you take this step and it turns out to be the wrong one? That fear keeps more people stuck than almost anything else. Not the fear of moving, but the fear of moving wrong. choosing the job that doesn't work out, trusting the person who lets you down, finally speaking up and having it backfire. Let's bring that fear into the light too, because it deserves an honest answer, not just a comforting one. Proverbs says something that should ease your grip a little. In his heart, a man plans his course, but the Lord establishes his steps. Read that as permission, not pressure. You get to plan. You get to think it through, weigh your options, use the mind God gave you. But the final establishing, the part that actually determines where you end up, that's his job, not yours. Your responsibility was never to guarantee a perfect outcome. It was only ever to take the step in front of you faithfully and trust him with what happens next. That takes real weight off your shoulders if you let it. Think about someone who finally leaves a career they'd built for over a decade to try something they actually feel called to do, and it doesn't go smoothly at first. The income dips. Old colleagues ask uncomfortable questions. Some mornings feel like proof they made a mistake. A year later, looking back, they can see things they couldn't see in the moment. How a connection that seemed random turned into an opportunity. How a closed door redirected them somewhere better than their original plan. That's not a guarantee your path looks exactly like that, but it's a pattern worth trusting. God rarely shows you the whole design while you're still inside it. He shows you afterward, when you look back and realize none of it was wasted. Psalm 121 gets specific about protection. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore. Coming and going. Not just the big, obvious moves, the arriving, the beginning of something new, but also the leaving behind. The parts of this transition that might feel like loss even when they're actually growth. He's watching the whole road, including the parts that feel uncertain or lonely along the way. Maybe you're realizing as you sit with this that some of your hesitation isn't really about fear of the future. It's grief about the past, about leaving something familiar, even something that wasn't working, because familiar still feels safer than unknown. That's allowed. You can grieve what you're leaving and still trust where you're being led. Those two things aren't in conflict. Lord, watch over what I'm walking away from and what I'm walking toward. Protect what needs protecting in me during this transition. My peace, my relationships, the people who depend on me. And where I've already made choices I regret, redeem them. Don't let my past missteps disqualify me from the future you still have for me. Some of you aren't just afraid of a future mistake. You're still carrying an old one, a decision you made years ago that you're convinced altered your whole trajectory. Maybe it did shift things, but Deuteronomy makes a promise that covers exactly that fear. The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Never. Not after your best decisions and not after your worst ones. He's not waiting somewhere up ahead for you to catch up after you've proven yourself. He's already there, and he's already here. So bring him the mistake you've been carrying, whatever it is. Not to relive it, just to finally set it down instead of dragging it into whatever's next. Think about someone gripping the steering wheel of a car they've never really learned to drive, white-knuckled, terrified of every turn, insisting they can figure it out alone even as they drift toward the shoulder of the road. Now picture someone who trusts the person beside them enough to finally loosen their grip, because they know if something goes wrong, there's someone right there who knows this road and won't let them crash. That's the difference between the way you walked into this morning and the way you can walk out of it. Same road, Same uncertain turns ahead. Completely different grip. Romans makes a promise that covers both your future steps and your past ones. We know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him. All things. Not just the choices you got right, the detours, the delays, the relationship that ended badly but taught you what you needed for the next one. None of it gets wasted in His hands, even the parts that felt like failure while you were living through them. So whatever step you're facing this morning, you don't have to get it flawless. You just have to take it with Him, trusting that even your missteps become material He can work with. There's one more thing standing between you and the peace you came here for. We're almost there. You've named the fear. You've brought the mistake you were still carrying. You've asked for courage and protection, for today's step, and for whatever's still ahead. Only one thing is left to do with all of it, and it's simpler than everything that came before. Let it go. Not pretend it doesn't matter. Not force yourself to stop thinking about it through sheer willpower. Actually hand it over, the way you'd hand something heavy to someone stronger than you, someone who's been asking to carry it the whole time. Philippians describes exactly this moment. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your heart and mind. Notice it doesn't say the peace will explain everything to you. It doesn't say you'll suddenly understand why the timing worked out this way, or why the path looked the way it did. It says the peace will guard you, stand watch over your heart and mind, even while plenty stays unexplained. That's different from having answers. Peace isn't the reward for finally understanding your situation. It's what God gives you instead of understanding, when understanding isn't available yet. So try this now, honestly. Picture the exact thing you've been carrying, the decision, the fear, the mistake, whatever's been sitting heaviest on you this morning. See it clearly for a second. Now imagine physically setting it down at His feet, the way you'd set down a bag you've been hauling around far longer than you needed to. Lord, I release this to you. Not because I've stopped caring about the outcome, but because I trust you care about it more than I do, and you can carry it better than I can. I stopped trying to control what was never mine to control in the first place. I choose right now to trust that you are already working in this, even in the parts I can't see yet. Feel what happens in your body when you actually mean those words instead of just saying them. Some tension you've been carrying without realizing it, in your shoulders, your jaw, the back of your neck, starts to ease. That's not coincidence. That's what surrender does. It isn't resignation. It isn't giving up. It's handing the weight to someone strong enough to actually hold it, so you don't have to hold it alone anymore. You might still feel the pull to take it all back, to start rehearsing the worry again the moment this prayer ends, to pick back up what you just set down, because letting go feels unfamiliar. That's normal. Surrender isn't usually a one-time event. It's a decision you'll probably have to make again tomorrow, and the day after that, every time the old fear creeps back in. That's not failure. That's just what trust looks like while it's still being built. Each time you choose to release it again, the grip loosens a little more permanently. This is the difference between carrying your life and being led through it. Carrying means every decision rests entirely on you. Every outcome is yours to guarantee. Every wrong turn is a failure you have to absorb alone. Being led means you take the steps, but you're not doing it solo. Someone who sees further than you do is walking every mile of it with you, correcting your course when you drift, catching you when you stumble. Notice what didn't happen this morning. You didn't get a printed itinerary for the rest of your life. You didn't get certainty about how this decision plays out, or proof that the road ahead stays smooth from here. What you got instead was something steadier than all of that. The settled sense that you're not doing this by yourself anymore. That's not a small consolation prize. For most of us, that's the actual answer we were looking for the whole time, even when we thought we wanted something more specific. You came into this morning not knowing which way to go. You may still not know, in exact terms, what tomorrow looks like, but something has shifted. You're not carrying this alone anymore. You've handed it to someone who was never going to let you go in the first place. Maybe you came here expecting a straight answer, a clear yes, a clear no, a clear sign pointing exactly where to go. If that's what you were hoping for, it's fair to feel a little unsatisfied that it hasn't arrived yet, wrapped up neatly, the way you wanted it. But consider for a moment that you've actually received something more durable than an answer. You've received a guide. Answers change with circumstances. A guide stays with you through every circumstance that comes after this one. That's the answer this whole prayer has been building toward. Not a 5-year plan, not a guarantee, but a person. A presence steady enough to walk beside you through whatever comes next, wherever it leads. And now that you've laid it all down before him, one thing is still left to do, the most important part of all. Say thank you. Not because everything is resolved, not because you walked in confused and you're walking out with a 5-step plan taped to your fridge. Say thank you because you came here carrying something heavy and you're leaving having actually set it down, maybe for the first time in a long time. Lord, thank you for meeting me exactly where I was this morning, not where I thought I should be. Thank you for the reminder that I was never meant to find this path alone. Thank you for the courage you're growing in me, even in the parts of it I can't feel yet. Thank you for going ahead of me into whatever this day holds, and for staying close enough that I never have to wonder if you're still there. Let's sit in that for a moment. No new requests. No more asking. Just quiet. If your mind starts to wander back toward the decision, the fear, the thing you keep circling, gently bring it back here. Not to solve it again. Just to rest for a few seconds in the fact that it's already in better hands than yours. Breathe in slowly. Hold it for a moment. Let it out even slower than it came in. Psalm 46 holds a phrase that fits exactly here, one worth carrying into every version of stillness you'll need for the rest of your life. Be still and know that I am God. Not be still and figure everything out. Not be still until you feel ready to act. Be still and know. The knowing comes in the stillness itself, not after you've solved everything that's making you restless. So let this be still. Let your thoughts slow down instead of racing toward the next thing on your list. If a worry surfaces, let it pass through like a cloud crossing the sky. Noticed, but not chased, not grabbed onto. You don't have to fight every thought that shows up this morning. You just have to let this one settle underneath the rest of them. I am not alone in this. I am being led. Maybe you're the kind of person who's been carrying this weight for a long time. Years, not weeks. Maybe the decision you brought here today isn't new. Maybe you've prayed some version of this prayer more times than you can count, and you're wondering, honestly, if today is any different from all those other mornings. Here's what's true regardless of how many times you've asked before. God doesn't grow tired of being asked. He doesn't keep score of how many mornings it's taken you to trust Him with this. Every time you bring it back to Him is still progress, even if it doesn't feel that way from where you're sitting. And maybe you're someone for whom this morning really is different. The first time you've actually said the fear out loud instead of burying it under busyness. If that's you, take a moment to notice what it cost you to be that honest today. That honesty is not nothing. It's the beginning of something real. This is what it feels like to be led instead of lost. Not loud, not dramatic. Just a quiet steadiness underneath everything else. The kind that doesn't depend on your circumstances changing before it shows up. Numbers has a blessing worth carrying with you out of this moment. One of the oldest prayers ever spoken over God's people. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make His face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn His face toward you and give you peace. Let that settle over you the way morning light settles over a room, slowly, without announcing itself. You are kept. You are seen. You are being led. Even on the mornings it doesn't feel like it. Especially on those mornings. Take one more slow breath before we close. Notice how different this moment feels from the one you started with. You came in carrying a question with no clear answer attached. You're leaving with something better than an answer. A steadiness that doesn't depend on the answer arriving on your timeline. Remember how this prayer started. You came in with a question underneath everything. Which way, Lord? What do I do next? That question hasn't fully answered itself yet, and that's all right. But something in you has shifted since then. You're not asking that question from the same place you were 40 minutes ago. You're asking it from somewhere steadier now, somewhere held. That's the whole promise this morning was pointing toward. Not a map handed to you all at once, but a guide who was never planning to leave your side in the first place. He led you into this prayer with a promise to lead you somewhere new. And He's kept it already. Right here, in the quiet shift you can feel even if you can't fully explain it yet. Carry that with you into whatever this Tuesday holds. Into the meeting you've been dreading. Into the conversation you've been avoiding. Into the ordinary hours that don't feel like much of anything, but that He's just as present in as this one. You might forget the exact words of this prayer by lunchtime. That's all right. That's how most mornings go. But try to hold on to the shape of it, even if the details fade. The shape is this. Bring Him what you're afraid of. Let Him establish the steps you can't establish on your own. Trust the process even when you can't see the whole staircase. That shape will serve you long after today, in decisions you haven't even faced yet. If this prayer met you where you needed it this morning, consider staying close to this kind of space. Subscribe to Stillwater Grace so mornings like this one become part of your rhythm, not just a one-time moment. Turn on notifications if you want these prayers to find you before the day gets loud enough to drown them out. And if you know someone circling their own version of this question right now, someone standing at their own crossroads without a clear sign, send this to them. Sometimes the way God answers someone's prayer for direction is through a person who thought to share something at exactly the right time. That person might be you today. This community exists for exactly this, for people who want their days to start from a place of peace instead of panic, who'd rather be led than left guessing. If that's you, you're in the right place, and you're welcome here every morning you need it, not just today. Rest here as long as you need. Let this stillness stretch a little longer if your morning allows it. There's no rush to get back to the noise. And when you're ready to step into the rest of your day, step into it like someone who knows they're being led, not someone finding their own way alone. Because you are. You have been the whole time, even in the mornings it didn't feel like it. Before you go, one more thing worth saying plainly. Whatever door you're facing this week, whatever conversation you've been rehearsing, whatever quiet decision has been keeping you up some nights, you don't have to carry it out of this video the same way you carried it in. You brought it here heavy. You get to leave it lighter, not because the situation itself changed in the last few minutes, but because you're no longer facing it by yourself. Some mornings the shift is dramatic, and you feel it instantly. Most mornings it's quieter than that. A little more peace than you had an hour ago. A little less dread about the day ahead. A little more willingness to take the next right step instead of needing to see the whole staircase first. If that's what today gave you, that's not a small result. That's exactly what this time together was for. So go gently into whatever's next. Let today unfold the way it's going to unfold, trusting that someone bigger than your circumstances is already moving through them. I'll be waiting for you tonight, for the evening prayer. Until then, go in peace.